Hello and welcome to Sword and Board Presents The Board Will Be With You, always. I'm Luke, and as with me as always is my best friend Matt. This is our deep dive audio commentary of every theatrical release Star Wars film. Tonight we're covering Revenge of the Sith. If it's a little bit different than a normal podcast, it's just going to be an alternate audio commentary. If that's not your cup of tea, totally understand. What's going to happen is Matt's going to press play on the audio, and then we're going to just talk about the movie. I'll let you know when to sync it up. I'll count down a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That should get you pretty tied up with what's going on. So, Matt, press play.
Here we go.
Matt, how are you doing?
For the good one, Lucas?
For
Pretty good.
Yes, for the good one. We're almost done with the prequels. It's weird.
Yeah, man. We're getting there.
Yep. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Something I was thinking about earlier was this is out of the prequels, this is the one I've probably seen the least because it's the newest of them. It's also the one
Really?
it's also the one that starts out like the most it just starts out.
Yeah. So I think I was also thinking about this, and I don't know. I want to say when it first came out, of course, saw it in theaters. But I, don't tell anybody, but I might have gotten a hold of a bootleg copy, and I watched that over and over and over again. So I'm super used. I mean, yeah, just like you, I don't think I've seen it as many times, but I've certainly seen it enough times. And I think it, just generally speaking, I think the first like act of this movie has like more action in it than the last two movies combined. So I think that's
Yeah,
probably a step in the right direction. I don't know for a Star Wars film.
I think I agree with you.
Um, yeah,
But I like how they introduce us to the fiendish droid general, Grievous in the text crawl.
hmm
But we've spent at this time, at least in universe, watching Clone Wars. He's been around for a while. I do love that every Star Wars film
yeah.
starts in space.
Oh yeah, with a gratuitous ship snapshot, right, or some
Yep,
sort of yeah.
and these are so much cooler than the other Jedi starfighters.
I respectfully disagree with it. Okay. I don't know. I think these ones, obviously, because they look more like TIE fighters, think of them as a little more evil looking, but I don't
I
know.
can understand
Personal
that.
choice, I guess. Personal choice. They also look flimsier, There's like barely a spaceship there.
That's weird to think about. Yeah, I can get that.
Not that it might matter.
Also, I love that this is all just one shot. Like, I mean, I get that it's CGI and they can do that, but I do love that this is one continuous. You know, we're at war. This is a Star War.
Yeah. It's so funny as CG as this whole sequence is. Apparently, this was the first of the prequels to not get nominated for best visuals or something like that.
Yeah,
So, which I would think this was actually. I mean, the other ones, I guess they were quote unquote groundbreaking, but this one I think does the visuals better,
yes, it does.
and it's a lot more engaging, and it's less just visuals for visual's sake. It's actually kind of doing something, setting the scene and whatnot.
And we got the
And they just obviously look more polished, but yeah,
right, and we got a bunch of Tamora Morrisons going around, which is always nice.
yeah. Why Obi-Wan? Why would you do that?
Yeah, just
What's the strategy? I don't get it. It's like, yeah, let's let them go past so they come up behind us and completely kill us all.
I feel like he's talking about the Tri-wing fighters, but I could be wrong.
Right. I like how they establish how Anakin, like, will risk his neck and try to save as many soldiers and clones as possible because he cares about them or whatnot. But then, once he's Darth Vader, he could give it two shits about a stormtrooper.
Exactly. It's the worst manager I've ever had.
Yeah. To be fair, stormtroopers, not as cool as clone troopers.
Definitely not, because they're not evil.
Just capability and just, they're just, more iconic for sure, but I don't know. They have a reputation.
Yeah, it's like, what is that Dr. McNinja quote of, you're like stormtroopers aiming at Luke's lightsaber. I love that he is Obi-Wan is basically a terrible pilot and just kind of guesses onto how to do things.
Well, right now he's just letting the droid do it more or less, and he's just like,
exactly.
I don't got time for this. Although, if you look back to the last movie, he did kind of square off against Jango Fett and did an okay job. So he's not like he's a terrible pilot. He just could care less. And Anakin's just like, hell no, I want to do this all. I want to fly every good pilot ship in the galaxy.
I remember, what was it? That this is probably the strongest of the three prequels. And
oh wait, hold on. In the name of what? Finish the sentence. In the name of what? The Force?
Yeah.
Jesus? I don't know. Space Jesus? I don't know.
Well, I
was like, what is he gonna say?
That's a really good point. I mean, we know hell sort of exists because Han says in Empire, I'll see you in hell. But what does that look like in Star Wars? What does space hell look like? Do we have a moment of your time
to speak about our Lord and Savior Goldenrod?
Why does he decide to square off with R2?
I don't know. It's like a cockfight. They're just like, hiya. So is R2 that confirmed Deus Ex Machina or what? Like,
basically, he's the most competent character in the series, like hands down.
Also, the most terrifying in a way, right? He just We'll see in a second how he'll just mercilessly just like murder other. I guess I don't know. Are B2 battle droids or super battle droids even technically alive? But they have like personalities and things, and he's just like, burn them all.
I love that they even still that these droid ships have atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
Which is like I suppose our first clue that Grievous isn't a droid.
Right. Some of this stuff kind of falls apart. It's like, why would you need a hangar? Well, I guess a lot of the justification is like a lot of these are converted like cargo haulers and things, right? Because of the Trade Federation and the other like merchant guilds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what is? I don't know. This the whole there. I guess that I kind of love and hate how the Separatist army have like all these different kinds of ships and they're all like unique and it's kind of cool, but at the same time some of them are just kind of stupid and don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Why doesn't R2 have like a built-in internal communication?
I thought he kind of did, but yeah, I don't know. I guess that's to text his honeys or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, so he's even got like, other like
Nemoidians.
Actual Nemoidians, meat space people, as opposed to just battle droids.
Right. Oh, did you know? You probably knew about the deleted scene where Ayla Secura. Or was it Ayla? No,
it's Shaak Ti.
Shaak Ti.
It's Shaak Ti.
Yeah, Shaak Ti gets captured and executed.
Killed.
And apparently she's like, of all the Jedi, she's like died the most out of like all the comics and like movies.
She's a boss fight in she's a boss fight in
Yeah. And there's like maybe in canon she's technically still alive.
Well, I mean the Jedi Purge is more of like the Great Jedi Inconvenience. because like for
Right.
most for most of the expanded universe, weren't they just like hundreds of thousands of Jedi were still just in hiding. They all kind of just noped out, and it just happened like 2 or 3 of them got killed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is a lot of the side stories and things are like, oh, yet another Jedi that has survived the Purge. I mean, case in point, Obi-Wan, right?
Right, exactly.
And Yoda. And I think someone mentioned once Mace Windu might have survived somehow.
With robot hands.
I don't know. I mean, they brought Darth Maul back. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to bring other folks back, but
exactly. It would be interesting, like to a guy who we thought died in a similar way to Darth Maul, if they actually went out of their way to bring back a heroic Jedi, a heroic killed off character in a similar way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess they kind of, well, I guess, spoilers, I guess, but what's her name? Snips. Why can't I think of her name? Ahsoka. I guess it was never assumed she died because she showed up in Rebels, but I mean, she comes back, right? So,
right.
I don't know. I was hoping they'd do more. Well, I guess I was kind of a little tired of the cameos and the setups because it felt like in The Mandalorian, not to focus too much on that, but it felt like they were of course setting up a lot of other shows and other side spin-offs and things. But It would have been kind of cool to, like you said, to have like a more established character in one of the main movies who you thought was dead. It's like, oh, guess what? He's back.
He's got robot hands.
Kick names and take asses. Yeah, he's got robot hand.
Someone brought up that like the fact that the Separatists took the head of state. That's a war-winning action. Mm-hmm. Like the Separatists have won the war right here. Now, obviously, he's directing both halves of the conflict, but at the same time, I get it. I get why he's angry. Like he just won the war. He just saved the war right here by rescuing the Chancellor. Right. And we
like
don't
this last act of this last desperate act. Like we will take the king, and they do it somehow miraculously. We don't see them do it, but these two jerk-offs just appear out of nowhere. And they're like, no.
And accidentally rescue him. Right. Also, I gotta wonder, how did Christopher Lee's agent just not do very well this time around?
I hope he got paid for the whole movie and not just, his 10 seconds of being in this.
Mm-hmm.
He needs, I don't know how many people went to his metal concerts because it wasn't even a metal band.
Yes.
I don't know if that pays well. Goddamn World War II veteran Dracula.
He's just paid. And originally he was Tolkien's choice to play Gandalf apparently, and he's just way too sinister looking, I think. And I feel bad saying that.
Yeah. Well, he's Dracula. Right?
Yeah, he is a Dracula. He's a space Dracula.
Really get past. Once you're Dracula, you can't really get past that. Kind of like Bela Lugosi was always a Dracula.
Yes.
I mean, man, I don't know. His inclusion in this series was odd, but also cool in a way, right? Because it's like, it's always nice to see these old kind of actors get reintroduced to a new generation of people, like they did with Peter Cushing and Alec Guinness and all these folks who are like old time actors, and
people who are way too serious,
and then they just kind of do them dirty.
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point we'll talk about just how much Ian McDiarmid is just hamming it up in this movie.
And all of them, yeah.
Well, yeah, but at least in like Return of the Jedi, he's a little more focused. This one, he's just like, do it. Oh my god, that's probably one of the most meme things that I certainly requote all the time. It's just
absolutely. What is your most quoted Star Wars line? Like, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I know exactly what the one that I use in, like, honestly, in regular conversation. And I just want to know what yours is.
Oh God, I gotta think about it. Oh, I think it's well, recently with the pandemic, it's been keep your distance, but don't look like you're keeping your distance or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think I say that all the time. Uh, it's very topical for me. But
Yeah.
no, I think other than that, I don't know. A lot of the people in my household wouldn't get the quotes, and they're more for me. So I don't know.
Oh,
I think I
my
just quote all of them. A lot of it's probably definitely Emperor Palpatine
oh, I mine
or,
is
or Darth Plagueis, for sure.
it's not a tale that the
The
Jedi
tale
would
of
tell.
the
No, for me, it's because it's actually useful. It's Lando's "Hello, what have we here?" I don't know why, but for that actually
Is he
gets
just a
used.
ladies' man? Yeah.
Exactly, it's
Yeah.
perfect. It's such a great line read. It's wonderful.
It's probably one of the most charming lines of all Star Wars, if you think about it. Other than I
Yep,
guess some of the, unless I guess I mean the Han Solo I know, is I guess not charming, but
it's perfect.
it's like romantic quote or perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing is was it Daniel Glover? What's his name? Who played Lando in Solo?
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. Daniel Glover. Uh, that's just something I don't think he really got right was that sort of delivery because that's what Lando is, right? He's just like he just oozes charm.
Yeah,
He's like out charming Han Solo, That's
and
his thing.
that was something I noticed about those movies is that while the guy that got to play Han Solo was good, he was doing his own
Yeah, he's
thing,
decent.
and yeah,
Yeah,
and Donald Glover was doing a Billy D. Williams impression the whole time,
right. Yeah,
and it
that's fair.
works, but it doesn't work. I wish he hadn't and tried to just be you know the charming guy that he actually is.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. If you just would have been Donald Glover, that would have been
But we'll get to
kind of
that
cool.
next.
Yeah, I guess that one is next, isn't it?
Yes.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, something. Oh yeah, I guess since we are gonna get to that movie, but I guess something cool since we're on the topic is how he just repeated. Right, one of his first things he just he says Han or Han instead
Yeah.
of and Han corrects him. He's like it's
Yeah.
Han. That was pretty
Which
cool.
I don't. I do. Something I love and hate at the same time is Star Wars' need to explain everything.
Right, and I think that's how we got these movies, honestly.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
that was one of my questions I'd written down. Is like, did we need these movies? And it's like, no, no, we didn't.
and like these,
But
it's
we
ray
got them.
shielded. Yeah, it's ray shielded because they said ray shielded once in A New Hope.
Right. Yeah. It's just like throwaway lines have now become
Well, it's
common
now
common
to the point where
concepts
it's
that need to be repeated.
yeah, it's they've gone from lines to idioms to cultural idioms in that universe.
Right. Makes it seem a little one-dimensional. It's like, aren't there other things?
Hmm.
There's more than just one kind of shield, I would assume.
And the fact that they specify ray shielded means that it has to be different kinds of shields.
That's right. The negotiator. Did you come here to negotiate?
So I was wrong
Oh,
the last
sick
time.
burn. You're too young. Haha, you bitch. Sorry, what?
They spend the entire time of Clone Wars keeping Grievous and Anakin Skywalker away from each other. I was wrong. It's not
Yeah.
Dooku and it's not all these other people. It's that interaction right there. That
Yeah,
they
that's
spend
right.
7 seasons making sure they don't.
Which kind of bother. What bothered me is that he keeps the lightsabers in like pockets in his cape, whereas in the I want to say Clone Wars, he has like little. They hooks them
Belts.
onto his belt, or it's so minor and stupid, but it's like little pockets in your cape. Seriously,
Why
what are you,
doesn't
a
he have a
magician?
cape?
Like,
He doesn't even have a cape in the series.
I know.
Maybe he just wanted to stay warm.
It probably would have been hard to render.
Yeah, that's why they took Asajj Ventress's dress off I'm
Is
assuming
that right?
that's
That's
the
probably
entire
why she's
reason because
bald.
it's
She never had hair.
yeah.
Magna droids, so cool. Oh, never mind. Like sometimes you just see, maybe it's in the physical acting that he's doing, but he's just like, I've had enough of this shit, and he just like slices through it.
Yep. And I don't mind that the battle droids. Again, I don't mind that the battle droids have personality. It's way funnier to me, and it's way more. It makes sense because droids always have personalities in this universe.
That's right. It makes it a little more tragic, right?
Yes.
Because I mean, you think about it, it's like, well, it's a war, but it's really just against droids and clones. It's nothing lost, right? But it's like,
Right.
well, not really.
I mean, and then
They're
once
still
the
quote unquote living beings.
exactly, and once the Clone Wars end, I mean, Jango Fett has basically become what's his name, Genghis Khan, because
Yeah. Yeah, what
those
percentage
people
of
are
the population is descendant of Jango Fett?
yes.
He cooled the galaxy. I guess that is true in a way. The billions of lives lost reduce carbon emissions enough to cause an ice age or whatever.
Combined with that's the amount of scrap metal flying through the sky.
Yeah. Freaking losers. I don't know. Those I like those jokes. They're kind of cringy, but I love them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's part of
I'm a
the
sucker
appeal
for
because these are.
stupid shit.
I mean, these are still children's movies, essentially.
Right.
Like,
I don't know.
like
What I could only surmise is going through their heads is like, we've gotten out of worse shit. I mean, half a ship falling through an atmosphere. Yeah, okay. 0% chance we don't walk away from this.
there's an interesting thing I remember is that in some magazine, I think it was a Star Wars magazine, they advertised the pilots of the fireship, that guy right there.
Yeah.
They advertised it by having the exact amount of time he was on screen for.
Oh yeah, they were making light of the fact that they'll make a friggin'
Yeah, it
action
was
figure out of anything.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, remember this guy? He was in the movie for less than a second. Buy this shit. It's your local Target. How did they
Was Target
end up
even
on
a thing?
runway also? Target? Yeah. Target's been around since the 90s.
Really? It just seems so much
so.
newer.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty certain.
I mean,
Ewan. I'm so happy you're getting your own series.
Yeah, me too. I hope it is as well.
He definitely has, and I guess is another example of paying homage versus trying to perfectly emulate Alec Guinness. He's doing his own Obi-Wan, which is like chef's kiss, right?
Exactly, it's perfect.
But if you ever hear like Ewan McGregor just talk normally, you're like, whoa, that's not how Obi-Wan sounds. He's got the definite Scottish twinge, or northern twinge.
I think is he Scottish?
He's Scottish, yeah. Pretty sure. Isn't that the whole Danny Boyle Train Spotting? It's all Scottish actors. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that movie.
It is a little overhyped.
It's like Requiem a Dream for me. I know it's kind of a black comedy, but it's just like I can't. Drug use. Yeah, those countless millions that you murdered. Probably.
Over and over again. And look, Jar Jar Binks.
Honestly,
And
it doesn't distract me at all that in a lot of these movies, Sam Jackson isn't really doing his best. I mean, I feel like he does. He's like, why am I here? But at the same time, he's like, cool, I'm in Star Wars, and I'm in every goddamn
it's
movie because I'm Sam Jackson. But
it,
I don't know.
I
He's
can't tell.
definitely not doing his best. I don't know.
No, he is not. I don't remember if
It
I
goes
brought
to
it up
show,
on.
like, even if you're like a great actor, like everyone gives Hayden Christensen shit about his performance in this, and it's like, well, if even Sam Jackson is struggling with the fucking dialogue,
Yes.
give the kid a break.
I mean, and you're talking about how he doesn't really emote or doesn't really has kind of okay, make it more obvious, but like
Yeah, Jimmy Smits was right there.
no, the it's Star Wars. I don't know if I've mentioned it on one of the other episodes. I don't remember, but like Star Wars is that thing. It's sort of like the Muppets. If you get a chance to be in it, you sort of jump at the call.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you get a chance to act with Miss Piggy, you're going to, and you're gonna fall in love with her. Like if you get a chance to be a green space alien in Star Wars, absolutely. Where do I sign? You don't have to pay me.
Oh yeah, I mean that goes as far as even I think I told you I think one of Lucas's kids was like, yeah, I love the Backstreet Boys, and so I think
Yeah.
he even shot scenes with the Backstreet Boys, and yeah, even they're not you know averse to being in Star Wars. They're not too cool for it.
No.
Shit, you got pizza tonight? Cheesy bread? It's like, oh shit, I don't know. She's like, oh god, what's he gonna do?
He's got a bit of a temper.
I don't know. He only has a temper when someone like kills his mom, that type of thing.
He only has a temper around the Sand People, the Sand Men, and the Sand Women,
Yeah, just
and the
saying
children
anything.
too.
Yeah. I think an important question. I mean, quality of movies aside, is this like a decent arc of Anakin? Obviously without the Darth Vader stuff, right? Like, does this actually set up? And I don't know if it does, right? I was like, obviously he's a kid and he goes through all this crap, and now he's like in a quote unquote adult. And does it really justify him falling to the dark side? I
Well, I don't know if it
guess. I don't
just
know.
yeah. There's the thing that I have mentioned before is that it has a the Force isn't the most powerful thing in the Star Wars universe. It's love, and love predicates all actions in the original 6 films. That everything that is any great action undertaken by anyone in this series, anything of importance, is by someone loving someone else, for good or ill.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Like that's what turns Anakin back from the dark side, is that he sees his son's gonna die, so he stops. He comes back to the light
Right.
side because of that action. Then it also is why he falls, because he can't see that he's the reason that everything's going wrong around him, and he's holding on too tightly to save Padme.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's his losing his mother, who he, like you said, he loves her, right, and he's powerless to do anything about it. And then I don't know, the whole, and I don't think they did this really well, like, is properly show how the Jedi have more or less stagnated in terms of what they proclaim to represent. I think that it certainly shows it here and there, right, in bits, but I don't know. If you could kind of look at it, right, from the tangible, right? They set it up in the first film or the second film, that he's supposed to be this chosen one, right? And he is gifted, and he wants to be a Jedi, right? The force of good, and all this stuff in the universe to help people, right? I guess maybe.
Right.
But then he finds he's he keeps getting they keep putting walls in front of him, right, in terms of being able to do that, and they're kind of contradicting, like, what he, in his mind, I guess, he's built up as what's right and wrong. I don't know, I'm not properly explaining this, but I guess at the end of the day, I guess I would have liked to see more of like, other than just, what was it, Yoda or Obi-Wan saying, we need to tell the Senate that our ability to use the Force is diminished or whatever. It's like, okay, has it, or could you just show us how you're not doing a good job doing your job? Um, I guess they showed a little bit here where they're like, well, we're gonna have you spy on the on the Chancellor and go against your morals, your ethics, or whatever, and all that stuff. But I don't know. The Jedi to me in this movie, I mean, obviously to me, Yoda's still Yoda, right?
Right.
He's cool. He's doing Yoda things. He's doing Force Jedi things. Um, Mace Windu's always been kind of a to me, because he's kind of a jerk to Anakin.
He is 100% a jerk.
But you don't really see. And then Obi-Wan, I mean, Qui-Gon was super cool, right? And he loses him, which again is, I think, another, check
Blow
mark,
to
right,
the series, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it's just another tick in the belt, right, to his fall.
Yeah.
Is that he keeps, to your point, he keeps losing everybody around him. Partly his fault, partly not, but yeah, I guess the only other thing we see is Obi-Wan, who again, he's doing Jedi things. He's always telling Anakin, "Don't do that, Anakin," but at the same time, it's like sometimes he's right. Sometimes Anakin is very headstrong, not really thinking things through. It's not necessarily because it's not the Jedi way. It's because it's like, Anakin, you're gonna get us all killed, And that's
very
actually
badly
happens a lot
killed.
in the Clone Wars. Yeah, it's like, you're gonna probably get us all murdered. And then 50-50, right? It's like, oh, actually, he was right somehow. Somehow Anakin was right. Yeah, but anyway, so I don't know. I think it does and it doesn't. And again, at the end of the day, did we need these movies? Nah, not really.
I kind of love the idea of a series that is midway through that. Basically, we pick up on a sequel to a series that we've never seen before, like the original trilogy. If they never made the prequels, and they called it Episode 4, that's a really cool idea. Is that it was some lost series that we just rediscovered. That's a cool concept.
Right.
We didn't need these, but I do think they're much better than they one, surprisingly have aged a hell of a lot better than people think they have. And two, they're a lot better in general.
Well, that's the hard part for me, is I can't separate them from, okay, do I love them because they're Star Wars, or are they actually on their own? Are they decent movies? And it's like, well, I don't know. Some of them are definitely, like you said, aren't as bad as people make them out to be. But if you just look at them, okay, is this a good film? Nostalgia and everything aside, which again is really hard for me to separate.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't know. I totally understand why, and that's why I won't die on that hill. It's like, okay, if you don't love these movies, I get it. I personally like them. I spent a lot of time with them. They are very faulty, but
as I have said before, I am a millennial named Luke. I have a complicated relationship with Star Wars.
Yeah, that's you and Ariel. Ariel has a complicated relationship with the Little Mermaid. So Star Wars is just this strange thing, right? It just permeates everything, and it's just such a part of our childhoods and just society at large that it's hard to just look at them objectively, which I don't really want to do.
No, neither do I. And I don't remember the first time I saw Star Wars. It's always been there.
That's
it's
right.
sort of like my arm that got cut off with a lightsaber. It's just been there.
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't really think of a childhood without Star Wars. I mean, I was certainly into other things, but not as much as Star Wars, and it's gone up and down a bit, but it's never gone away.
Exactly.
I've never stopped liking these movies, even with the movies that came out that I did not like so much, which I won't spoil which ones that is, but it might be pretty obvious because I might not be in the minority. But I still love these movies. They, even with these janky prequels and the less than savory new films, I still won't not like Star Wars.
And it does seem like the fact that Disney has a hold of the property now, that they're trying to do Star Wars television. That seems like they're actually, and they're pretty good at it. Like, Mandalorian's great, Boba Fett's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited for their other series because that means that they might actually we get more Star Wars, and there might actually be pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. You might hear some people like say, when they see a certain movie, right, where if it's not so bad it's good, or it's not so good it's great, right? If it's mediocre, then it's like the worst thing ever. But for me, I'm fine with a mediocre Star Wars film because I get whatever I need out of it, right? But if it's great, that's even better, right? I mean, so my bar is already so low. But at the same time, like you said, they seem to be doing a pretty good job so far. And they really came out strong, which I don't know if that will be a good thing or a bad thing for them, because it's like, where do they go from there? Hopefully they somehow find a way to keep upping the ante. But yeah, no, I'd be so much happier if they, instead of doing the sequels, they just had done the shows or something. Because then you might have gotten all that extended universe stuff back into canon, maybe, which, they still could do that. And they have been doing that. But I don't know. So many missed opportunities with those prequels, or excuse me, sequels that, anyway. You're not making me a master?
I mean, I get it. Again, he just won the war. He just saved the war from failure like 5 minutes ago.
Right. And to me, this, the way this scene plays out, it's like, oh, Anakin's just having an outburst, like an emotional outburst. He's unhinged, but you got to think about all the stuff we didn't see, right? And that's where it makes me sad, where we kind of cut in at the end of the Clone Wars, right? Where it's just like he's gone through so much shit, and basically he's up in front of them. He's like, yeah, guess what? We just saved the world or the galaxy or whatever. And they're like, yeah, well, all right, passed up for promotion, whatchamacallit. And so, yeah, so I guess it's very much was it Benedict Arnold situation, right? Where it's like very capable general. Not that I'm excusing Benedict Arnold. I mean, I'm not gonna make that statement. But at the same time, if you look into it, it's like passed up for promotion and then basically shit on, and then actually switches sides. So I don't know if that's a parable or not, but that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, no, I've never considered that before. I don't know if I don't know how you can redeem yourself in that way as well. I was trying to think of what Benedict Arnold's light side moment at the end of the Revolution
Well, that's the thing is so someone I think once asked have you ever erected statues of traitors? I mean, as long as you don't go south and look at, of all the statues they have of whatever
traitors
down there. But I guess in terms of the Revolutionary War, right? Do you have any statues to like King George? It's like, no, but we have a statue of Benedict Arnold's, what is it, his leg or something?
His boot.
Or his foot, right? Because apparently he lost that, right? Being, hero to.
He got shot in the foot at Ticonderoga, I think.
Right. That's right. And there was a famous quote, which I don't know if they've ever confirmed. It's like, yeah, if you ever come back here, it's like we'll honor your foot, because that's.
Yeah, that foot fought. Right. Foot fight. And they're right here. Like, there's something wrong. There's something up with the Chancellor. We need to figure that out. We're here as a stabilizing element. He trusts you. But at the same time, I don't think the boy can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, again, from Anakin's perspective, it's like, and I am a little bit regurgitating something I saw on the internet, which I don't. Again, I'm not sure if I believe or not. It's like, because there's not so much evidence here to support it, but at the same time, it's like, so Anakin's like already on the rocks, just having been not made a master, and basically the masters are all pontificating in their stupid ivory tower, right, about galactic affairs, having barely ever leaving their chambers, and then he's like basically being asked to spy on his friend, which, all things told, he is a shady dude. Chancellor Palpatine is indeed even if you
It's
just
almost like he's the actual
objectively
bad
look
guy.
at him, right? If you're just like, okay, if you look at him and he's just sneering in the corner, he's just like,
Yeah.
you walk in, he's just sneering and scheming, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy's evil.
And also
But at
with
the
the
same
additional
time, yeah,
context of with the additional context of Clone Wars, I mean, Ahsoka's just left the Order as well, so he's lost a friend of his, a very close
yeah,
like person he was training. Um, so there's that, and that's part of the we don't grant you a rank of master because she never became a Jedi Knight.
uh, so you need to
So
have a Jedi Knight to be a master or something. I don't know.
you need
I mean, he was
you can't
training her,
like your
so you did have a Padawan.
yeah, and she never became a knight herself. So spoilers for Clone Wars, a show that came out 10 years ago.
Well, that season was a couple years ago, right?
Yeah,
Was it
that's
season
like the
12
4, I
or
think,
something?
4 or 5. It's
Was
got
it?
7 seasons. I'm like 4 or 5 seasons through it right now. It's so good. Although the earliest seasons are kind of weak, I will admit.
So
But there's still some good stuff.
kept true to my promise. So I did get Disney Plus again, and I did start watching. Unfortunately, from the beginning, I was like, oh, I'll just watch like the couple episode arcs that they have, right? Because I know it's not just a contiguous season or show to show plot or whatever. But yeah, I was like, I kind of want to go back and experience the first couple of seasons, and just like I thought, I've been not getting through them as quickly as I would have hoped. But I don't know, they're
Yeah,
not so bad. I mean, they're definitely more kiddie. Like it's like, oh wait, there's the big evil, and we gotta save the day. Where's George
space
Lucas?
opera. George Lucas
Where's
is
George
the
Lucas? He's here.
yeah, he's the only time he's ever in
The blue
the
dude.
the series. Yeah, he's the blue dude in the box with the Chancellor. Space opera.
No, he's right there.
I'm gonna run.
That's him with the hat on the left. That's George
It's
Lucas.
him with the hat. Oh, I thought he was
I
in
think
the.
so.
I thought he was in the.
No, because these
Because
are all like weird alien dudes.
I know he's a weird alien dude. I thought he was the blue dude right here.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. You can fact check me on that.
Hey Matt, have you ever heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
No, it's
No, that's not a story the Jedi would tell. Oh God.
like, bitch, get out of that chair. Womp womp. Who's the nerd who has to blow up those big ass bubbles? Oh yeah, and there's the weird little snaky creatures in there. Wow.
Dancing between them. Yeah, this is another one of those. This is super alien looking, so it makes it more Star Warsy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this scene though.
Yeah, no, it is one of the stronger things in the series, or not in the series, in the movie, is this particular interaction.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a lot of dialogue that's just like not like one-liney quips or whatever, or no, I guess not quips, but one line throwaway lines.
Right.
Yeah, this is a full-blown conversation, and you actually get a little bit of backstory. It's veiled, right? Thinly veiled, evil backstory, but you're like, oh, shit. We always just
And
knew
what's
Emperor
funny is
Palpatine is this big old creepy prune face man. I didn't know he had a backstory.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and another thing is you find out he's from Naboo, and you're like, that's not so badass. But then you're like, yeah, I basically learned all my master's tricks and then murdered him. It's like,
yeah, and it's thinly veiled that you're never quite certain if it actually is the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, if he's the one who killed his master. You never know that. But
right, because he's the type of dude to just make shit up, right?
Yeah, it's also interesting. This is like, as you said, this is a conversation. This conversation is like the least. This shouldn't be memeable. This conversation, and yet we get probably the greatest prequel meme of everything from this whole sequence.
and again, this is just the whole telling thing that these prequels do that kind of blows, like, destroys a lot of the fun. Or if, when I think about it too much, it kind of destroys the illusion a little bit. It's like he's talking about how the Jedi are, you know, duplicitous, or they're I don't know, not as great as they seem to be or whatever. And it's like, well, it'd be kind of nice to see that every now and then. I don't know.
Right. And I just, okay, so how did you hear this story? That's a question that you know.
Yeah.
It's a Sith legend. Okay, cool. How'd you hear a Sith legend? You don't strike me as a historian.
Yeah, half the time you act surprised when Jedi do stuff, and here you are just spouting all this anti-Jedi stuff, and you're like, and oh yeah, and I just had a conversation with my former master about how you might be evil. Let me connect the dots,
Again, how do you know these things? That there should be red flags. We see.
Again, just his delivery is just amazing.
Yeah, it's
like the worst bad guy. I guess it goes to like.
It's hammy,
Ironic.
but it's so subdued. It's like salted pork almost. Like it's the only way to describe it.
He definitely earns like the title of best bad guy in anything. Like he's just like the embodiment of evil. Not from a Jedi. And fucking Wookiees. Fuck Wookiees, man.
What is your deal?
Look at this shit. Look how stupid is that?
It's not. It's kind of cool.
Bug copter.
What I have never understood your Wookiee loathing, and I get that John fed into it just by being kind of a jerk.
I don't know. It's not a very logical or for me. It's just like the whole trait of Chewbacca is that he has a life debt,
Yeah.
And that's just what the Wookiee is in most things, right? It's just like, oh, this Wookiee has a friggin' life debt, and it's like,
well, that is actually increasingly becoming a thing in Star Wars itself, like that people just like they save this guy saved my life. I'm gonna work with him forever, like Fennec Shan in Book of Boba Fett. Like he saved my life. I'm gonna go see what's going on with this guy now, and because I got nothing better to do. And like Jar Jar does it as well. Yeah, with her.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Is like, well, I don't know. And I guess they just don't have much character. They're just big, dumb, hairy things. I like Ewoks better than Wookiees. I don't know.
Matt, I'm gonna blow your mind here. Flop the syllables of Ewok.
No, I know. I'm not. I wasn't born yesterday, Lucas. In fact, I think we even talked about it here. But
probably
was his. What the fuck is his name again? I don't. Big hairy dumb. Look at them just charging at a bunch of robots.
Well, yeah, no, they're in
a
decent
soldier?
fortified. Yeah, they're in a decent fortified position. Why are they charging?
Yeah, or just up on a bluff like these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Where's their air support? Where's their artillery? Kaboom! Oh, here we go. Yeah, we gotta land on this thing. Be a big old dum-dum.
Cool, they took down one of them.
Yeah.
Something I always...
hey, what the fuck?
Something I always like about these movies is they use wipes a lot to denote the passage of time.
Yeah. Yeah, the transitions I've rarely noticed them, but yeah, definitely in this one, I think they do it the most. Just like wipes, or I don't think there's any dissolves, right? Because that would be just
that
weird.
They may have in the sequels, but in the prequels and in the original trilogy, they use wipes fairly regularly as a turning the page of a chapter because this is a story. That was just a very noticeable one.
Right. I forget what I was watching recently where maybe it was even, I don't think it was a Star Wars movie. Oh, it was Lord of the Rings, right? And maybe there were wipes, I don't know, but that movie takes place over the course of decades, right? Or whatever, like, in the books, like,
Yeah.
Apparently they wait a long ass time before Gandalf arrives again. But yeah, no, it's something you don't even think about though when it's done right. It's just like, oh wait, how the hell did they get all the way up a mountain, or how did they get halfway across the continent? It's only been like 10 minutes.
It's like one of the things that everyone complains about in the Dark Knight trilogy, in Dark Knight Rises, the last one, everyone seems to forget that he's Batman. Like, I just remember people complaining so much about him just instantly being back in Gotham. Like, that's your problem with this movie? That he's Batman? He can do that?
Yeah.
He's also a billionaire? It's not that hard to buy a plane ticket?
Right. I mean, was it that one or the previous one where... No, it was the previous one where he goes all the way to, like, the Hong Kong to capture...
Yeah, he steals a man. He steals a man.
Right, in Hong Kong, and then he's back in, like, the East Coast of the United States the next day.
But no, Dark Knight is perfect and such a good movie. Is this the same set as in... well, she rearranged since Attack of the Clones, at the very least.
Oh yeah, no, I guess I never thought about this, if this is the same location. It never really felt like it. I always thought she just had a bunch of apartments because she's, like, rich.
Right. Politician apartments. That's like... there was this great Amazon Prime show called Alpha House, where it was 4 Republican senators sharing an apartment in D.C. because the rent is so expensive there. And it's a comedy. It's really good. John Goodman's in it.
Sounds pretty funny. Oh, no way. That's funny.
Yep. But then, politics became, real, and you can't make satire is impossible now. So you can't have anything
right,
like that
because we're all
anymore.
just living it. Yeah, that's true. That was an interesting transition.
Yep.
I guess was that technically a wipe?
That was a wipe. It was one you don't see as often. Like, you normally just see like the ones from side to side. You don't see a closing, which that is an interesting one that I think about. I've never seen that one. I haven't seen that one in forevers. Forever ever. This is like the weirdest planet they go to.
It is very weird, and this dude who plays this alien is a character actor you see in a lot of things, and it
Doug
didn't
Jones?
click. Yeah, I don't know. Is that his name? I don't know.
He doesn't look like Doug Jones, but he's got a character.
Face.
Yeah. I gotta look that up.
But yeah, here's a great example of introducing a character to only kill him off.
Yeah.
Halfway through the movie.
Okay, no, it's not Doug Jones.
Who is it?
I don't know. I'm looking that up now.
He's he's in he's the guy that was in Mad Max as the pilot dude.
Oh, him.
Was it Mad?
I know the one you're talking about.
Yep, I think that's him.
Oh wow, yeah. No, I completely.
Yeah, I don't know the actor's name, but
Bruce Spence.
Yeah, he's got a very distinctive face, and it's like, yeah,
He's also in the extended Lord of the Rings. He's the mouth of Sauron. I don't know if you ever saw the extended version.
Oh yeah. At least many times. Yeah, this is like Dino Planet, Dinotopia.
Man, I got a pitch for
really
Dinotopia.
Bad when this poor little lizard man dies. the child and I like to, with her little dinos, I've introduced her to Dinotopia. She's like, "What's Dinotopia?" And I'm like, "Sit down, let me tell you a tale."
You know there are sequels to that book?
No, I've never read the books because there was a TV show too, right?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Crappy
but no, the first book is amazing. It was done by a guy who did National Geographic maps. That's why the art is so incredible. And
yeah, I was always blown away by the arts. Yeah, the arts.
And there's
the
like
art.
three or four sequels to it where it goes off the rails, and it's kind of magical how crazy it goes off the rails because there's this underground, ancient, hidden technological city that's been abandoned for thousands of years, and they base their technology off of dinosaurs. So they drive mecha dinosaurs. Yeah, it's wild.
Right. Fucking becomes Power Rangers. Nice. He's just weighing his options like,
How do I kill these people?
Let me channel my inner Anakin right now, right? Wouldn't Obi-Wan be telling Obi-Wan right now not to do this? Yeah. Hello there.
Perfect line. General Kenobi.
Yeah. The negotiator.
I love how in the background, in just a minute, when he pulls out the lightsabers. Hold on.
Hiya! Some Obi-Fu.
Good. This is... Yeah, that is smart.
Also Looney Tunes shit. It's great. I love it.
In the background right here, you can see a battle droid hit another one and say, "Hey, look, there's a fight about to break out." See the two dead center?
Oh yeah. I love little crap like that.
Yeah. I'm a skeleton man.
Ha-cha-cha-cha.
I mean, I get that this is meant to look intimidating, and some angles and shots of this do, but it's also kind of like,
kind of really stupid.
Little Looney Tunes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm sure this has been said 1,000 times, right? But how much more menacing he was in Clone Wars. Like, he was like death incarnate to Jedi. Smoker's cough and like getting schooled by Obi-Wan, which is, I mean, he's doing what everyone would be yelling out in the theaters, like, just cut off his friggin' robot hand, dum-dum. And yeah, here he is. He's doing it.
Hey.
He's using actual strategy.
Clones coming down on fast ropes. Before Cody turns into a joke and into a jerk.
That's right. I think we did say we did decide that was programming, right?
Yeah,
I think that was established in the Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, it is a programming thing. I think there's a chip in some of their heads. I'm not certain
Rex
on that.
Gets his out or something. Well, yeah, I think Ahsoka gets Rex's chip out somehow, and that's how he's able to.
I'm going to scuttle away. I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make like Zoidberg and scuttle. Why does this thing need both legs and wheels?
Important questions. Why do we need this whole sequence? I guess better yet, I don't know.
Yeah, because this is a little bit of padding, but I'm okay with it because it's visually interesting.
I mean, it's certainly gravity defying, physics defying, but of course this is Star Wars, so
physics is a suggestion at best.
I should have bonked him on the head. That would have been funnier.
Yeah.
More hijinks.
Or bonked a random one on the head.
Serious movie. Yeah. That's something that happens with clones and stormtroopers, right? They get whacked in the head.
Yeah. No, they've been doing that since the original series. Why wouldn't you have a clone get bonked in the head with a lightsaber?
I like how out of all the changes we could make in these films, like, we gotta make those lightsaber hit the guy on the head.
Bonk him in the head.
That would make the movie a 10 out of a 10. Also, poor Coyote Monday.
We also are Why did what?
I was just saying, poor Coyote Mundi. He's like been the butt of,
So many
everyone's
jokes.
jokes for this movie. Just peeing his head or whatever.
Yeah. In the comics where he wears a wizard hat to hide his head.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He is very badass. I mean, of course they make everybody badass out of all of the. I mean, in many of the comics, but and that's where like certain scenes are super disappointing, like the one we're about to see not too far from now with Palpatine and four Jedi Masters? Like what?
Again, Ian McDiarmid, subtle ham.
Oh, it's super hammed up in this, and also he's got the friggin' H.R. Geiger mural on the goddamn wall over there. And he gets his O face going.
Yep.
So creepy.
Again, like, oh, all those red flags I had that I ignored earlier are coming back right. There's a great deleted scene that oh god, that smile, that sick smile. There's a great deleted scene where where Obi-Wan and Padme are talking about how they both just pretended that the other one didn't know that Anakin was married. No, and it's this really like heartbreaking sequence. Like, we pretended because he was my friend and I didn't want to lose him.
Yeah, I guess it would have been nice to have a few more of those character moments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess the movie's already.
He can end everything right here. Yeah.
There. Uh-oh. Look out.
Just gank him right there. Just do it. Do it. That's what's. I suppose that's a great. I think it's a mark of a great movie, is that when you've seen it 100 times and you still don't know if it could change. Like right there, you don't know if it could change.
Yeah, and it's also like, of all the times Anakin to go against the Council, you choose this time to play it by the book. You dum-dum. But then again, he's got conflicting emotions because apparently this crusty old dude's his friend. I don't know.
And that's like, well, I mean,
and the scene's
we see
still
that.
happening.
We see that in real life with like people who are friends with terrible people, and like, yeah, I know he's a terrible person. That doesn't change the fact that I still care about this guy in a weird way.
Yeah, it's kind of that. I don't know. This just popped in my head, which is kind of creepy. But he's kind of like grooming him, and it's like, ugh. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. He's an impressionable.
I love Grievous's ship. It's so cool looking.
Really, it looks like a friggin' Oldsmobile.
I have a fondness for Art Deco
also,
things.
It also looks like a Delta fighter, but you like apparently you don't like that.
It doesn't look like a Delta
sorry,
fighter. It looks Art Deco. It's because this is space. This is the space 20s.
Yeah, it doesn't look very safe.
Apparently, there's an action figure of Grievous with his heart on fire, like burning from every orifice.
Oh, son of a bitch! Yeah, how'd you think that was gonna play out? So another example that Obi-Wan doesn't need the high ground. He has mastered both the low and the high ground. I mean, also in Episode 1, right? So
exactly. Okay, he's already dying and writhing in pain. You don't need to keep shooting him. Also, what
is he made out of methane? I don't know, like the whole backstory behind Grievous, apparently, like he's in this civil war with the Huck or whatever, his species, and he's on this never-ending cycle of war and destruction and everything, and apparently he's on his shuttle, and I think Palpatine or whoever sabotages it so that he, explodes, and there's barely any left of him, and now they like, oh, we can fix you, but maybe you should come work for us. And then, he just gets burned alive.
Why didn't you open with this, Anakin? Like, all right, I know what you got to say about Obi-Wan is important, but the president is evil. He's space evil.
I mean, it's fair. Again, I don't know if that would have gone any better if Anakin was there. In light of what happens to Mace Windu later.
Yeah. I mean, it could have gone better with him there. It also, we see what happens with him being there.
Right.
But having him not there, they lose 3 Jedi, but they also could have killed him and could have, the things could have gone differently.
Yeah, Anakin loses 3 masters, but he gains a friend. These are great series of shots. I mean, now I'm looking at it as like a little bit of weird green screening going on, but at the same time, it's just like, okay, Coruscant's beautiful.
Yeah, it's space New York. It's space 1920s New York.
Yup.
And yes, I use the adjective space a lot, but you know what? It's true. These are gorgeous movies, and it always blows me away how pretty they are. And I always forget that's... You'd think, like a dumb sci-fi film, sci-fantasy film, they wouldn't be as good looking as they are, and with all the jokes that people make about the prequels and all the jokes people make about George Lucas not being a great director or a great anything, these are really well constructed, well shot, because the sun's setting. The sun is literally setting on Darth Vader, or on Anakin Skywalker right there.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I really do like that whole sequence. It really sets us up for what's to come.
Mm-hmm. We've got Kit Fisto, Sassy Tim, and...
Sassy Tim.
No, that's Sassy Tim, the guy with the.
Well, I heard Tim, sorry, but Neith Koth.
Elon Koth.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
And I mean, they probably should have announced that Grievous was dead and they were going to restore.
I mean, I would have been just as like thrown off guard too if like 100-year-old dude just like screeched at me and leapt over his desk. But yeah, this whole sequence sucks. I mean the choreography, as good as the other the lightsaber combat is and choreography, this is like probably some of the worst in the series.
Yeah, it's It is. Well, I don't think it's the worst. It's just exceedingly okay because it's two middle-aged men, middle-aged to older men waving sticks at each other.
I mean,
but it also
Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor put in the time, right, to do it.
Right.
And Sam Jackson would not do that, which
Exactly.
is fair. And also Ian McDermott is just CG Ian McDermott, and it looks real bad.
And what I want
to and he's got Yoda effect going on.
What is interesting about this to me is that in every other time we see a Jedi fighting, like in the prequels, they pull up another second lightsaber as soon as they can.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw his face and I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it ultimately culminates to him using Force lightning, but I don't know. I don't think every encounter needs to be lightsabers, right? That's where it's like, they could have done something else.
Right.
It could have been like, oh, it's going to be a couple Jedi and a bunch of clones, and somehow, I don't know, he does Order 66 then, or I don't know. I'm not going to rewrite the whole movie, but this is like the one. Sorry,
it's such a perfect. It's so terrible.
It's the best and the worst. It's like, okay, you sure, George? That's the take? Okay. That's where he's in the editing booth at a lot of these.
And this is a parallel.
Before,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, this is the parallel to Return of the Jedi, because this is what he's doing this to what's it called, to Luke.
He turns into the Dark Crystal Muppet. I love the robot chicken where he's like, wow, you couldn't have stopped him like 5 seconds later? I look like a ball sack. Yeah, Anakin. Duh.
And he just tried to kill me.
He just dispatched 3 of the most powerful Jedi like it was nothing.
And again, he just tried to kill me.
No.
For some reason, I thought he lost both hands.
No, just the one. I do have this Mace Windu, and I think he did come with Force lightning on his lightsaber, which, yeah. Yeet.
It's yeet or be yeeted. When I can't remember what I've done.
All the things that I've done.
What I always thought would have been an interesting twist is if it wasn't Anakin Skywalker, or I don't know if it'd be interesting. And actually, now that I think about it, it's kind of dumb. But I thought what they could have done was have a different Darth Vader show up right here, and it's not Anakin, and Anakin dies right here. But that's just some dumb bullshit that I
just threw out there. Yeah, I mean, for a second you were with me, but I want to say something like that's of course been done, but I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, well, the whole Force Unleashed thing. Or I guess maybe I'm thinking of Blade Runner 2049.
Fun fact, who has 2 thumbs and has not seen either Blade Runner movie? This guy.
Oh my god. Don't tell me you have some sort of moral, you're objecting morally to watching them for some reason.
No, God, no. No, I've just...
Original Blade Runner, I can see why some people don't love it, but new Blade Runner is a work of goddamn art. And
I haven't seen either of them just because I've never... You tried to get me to watch Blade Runner one time in college.
Yeah, I got the wrong version.
And it was 2 in the friggin' morning, Matt.
Yeah.
And I was drunk.
When it's Blade Runner time, it's Blade Runner time, man. And it is it'll put you to sleep. Like, especially with alcohol, you'll sleep like a baby trying to watch that movie.
It's what I've seen of it. Like the bits I've seen of it, I know what happens in it. I mean, Han Solo hunts a slave race. I get it.
But you got to see the Roy Batty monologue. It's like the best part of the
No,
film.
I've
It's
seen
right
it.
at the end.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you got to like see everything else.
Yeah, no.
You like my hoodie?
It's big. It's an XL. It makes me look small. It makes me look small.
My ex-girl. And kill the younglings. What if he was like, yeah, go to the Jedi Temple, and he's like, calls him later, okay, Master, it's done. I killed everyone, even the younglings.
Whoa!
What?
I wanted
No,
you to
dude,
talk
hold
to him.
on. I thought
I'm
you
evil, I'm not
understood. You're supposed to
evil.
bring them back. We were gonna like, try to train them and shit. That's ruthless. Is that a Patrick statue from SpongeBob on his?
I didn't see it.
No. Who do you think he has up in his office as like employee of the month? Is it Darth Vader? Because I want to say Darth Vader routinely fucks things up a lot in the comics.
Yeah. I appreciate that he has gone full ham. In a movie where he's hammed up the entire time, he has finally just lost all pretenses. And he's having the time of his life.
I've always enjoyed Emperor. Anything full-blown Emperor is just amazing. I don't know. I also like these scenes as dark and sad as they are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another cutscene with like clones dressed up as Jedi or something pretty soon. That's when Obi-Wan comes back. It's the clones dressed up as Jedi, which is like, have any of you ever met a Jedi before? They don't fall for that shit.
And it's just, I appreciate that the music has changed. Like heavily.
Oh yeah, it's very dour. Yeah. That's another thing. Is just like always. I mean, it doesn't have to be said, but the music carries a lot of these, like a lot of these scenes, a lot of these movies.
Yeah, Clone Trooper of the Year right there.
What? Oh yeah. Thank you, Digi Tamara Morrison. Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
What was I going to say? Oh.
Does he call each and every clone independently? Clone commander?
Apparently.
Like, Cody. Okay, let me find the other numbers here. I got 555 other clones to call. Kaboom! Oh shit! See, this just proves that Jedi can survive drops.
They don't take fall damage.
Far, yeah, right? And that's where Mace Windu's probably still alive.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Something we're talking about, the music in this is just, it's heartbreaking, and it's doing a lot of the emotional work, and that's something we brought up on the podcast before, is that that music in fantasy, because fantasy is so explicitly fictional and so explicitly fakey looking. Hey, look, it's Felucia. You have to have something to help you suspend your disbelief. Not even suspend your disbelief. Help you in the get past the point.
Right. No. Cut away. And
so
please.
It's like, this is just really sad. Like that's a perfect shot right there where he drops the thing. Like, okay, that
Poor
we get
Yoda.
across.
This is all your fault, Yoda. See, he's calling each everyone.
Apparently,
got him on speed dial.
Apparently they
Oh no, I wasn't on
Plo
screen very much.
Koon.
I actually just watched the Clone Wars episode with Plo Koon, and they call him Master Plo, and I'm like, come on, is that really his name? But apparently, yeah, he can breathe in space a little bit with that on.
Mm-hmm. So he may not
Established.
actually be dead. And they originally wanted, or not wanted, but in Mando, when Luke Skywalker shows up, they hid it by having it be Plo Koon.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
Just
Dave Filoni loves
one
him
of the
some
old
Plo
bait
Koon.
and switches. Yeah, that's
Yep.
cool. Alternate takes. Also, kind of. Oh yeah, another reason I hate the Wookiees. It's like, oh, this Wookiee has to be Chewbacca. It's like, why?
Yeah, I
Why
agree. I
is he
agree
the
with that.
one
That's
goddamn Wookiee? You know, it's not his fault, but it's also stupid.
yep.
Where's Lumpy? Where's Mala?
They're celebrating Life Day.
They're all fucking off. Yeah.
You know what? What doesn't get old? Jokes about him killing the younglings. You know what also doesn't get old? The younglings.
I was like, wait, what is he? What is he setting up here? Is this like his only scene?
It's
Really?
yeah, just about.
Well, that's fine. Yes, Padme, emote. You are sad.
She doesn't even do a whole lot in this movie either.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, not until like the back half, which I mean, we're on the back half.
It's like, don't worry, I'm Jimmy Schmitz. I'm here to save the day. Yeah, I gotta go film. Was he on Law and Order?
Yeah, I think he was.
And this poor son of a bitch.
I mean, I think this is what's his name's son.
Oh, Lucas's son. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets killed. Be it Lucas to kill his own son.
I could be wrong, but
Well, I mean, I believe it.
mm-hmm.
Learned that from my Naboo days. They just have those things on them, I suppose.
Well, again, we've even said they should have multiple. Well, I've even said they should have multiple lightsabers because they should just they drop them all the time. Keep like four or five of them on you at a time.
Or
You
just
can
have
keep
like
your primary
like
one.
a little like Wii lanyard or whatever, you know what I mean?
But then you couldn't
Throw it through your TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tarples, is that his name?
No, Captain Tarples is the.
No, what is this? The Daddy Wookie? Papa
Yeah,
Wookie?
I know who you're talking about, but
Tarpos, his TA something, I don't know. See ya.
all right, Wookiees, I'm out.
I always thought that guy had a prosthetic chin.
Who,
Captain
Jimmy Smits?
Antilles or whatever.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Jimmy Smith's friend. Just the smoking corpse of General Grievous.
This is still there. I'm gonna go steal this spaceship because
Yeah, he gets murdered and then he gets his ride stolen. Man.
What is this, Baltimore? That was a little much even for me.
Everyone gone wild, man.
The Emperor, the Chancellor called every clone individually and told them to kill all the Jedi.
Then he accidentally butt dialed me and told me to kill Jedi, and now I'm calling you. Maybe you need to be the one to kill the Jedi. I don't know. This is all so confusing. Uh. Uh-huh. Is that really what happened?
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure about that, Anakin?
It goes on to betray the Republic. Yeah. Goes on to more or less kill his wife as well. Not getting husband of the year.
I mean, there you. I don't know if you've. Yeah, you said you didn't finish Fallen Order, but it's really sad. Like, you see what they do with a bunch of the Jedi they capture, and it's really like, oh, this is really creepy and a little bit heartbreaking, and I don't like this at all.
Yeah,
because like that's
I
where
kind of like. I kind of like when properties explore certain things. I mean, to me, nothing's quite off limits, but at the same time, if it crosses certain lines, I'm like, meh.
Well, that's like the Inquisitors are all like mind raped old Jedi that they captured.
Yeah,
like
that's right. Talk about lines after Anakin just murdered children, but anyway,
yeah.
At least it wasn't shown, right? That would have been going too far. This is already PG-13. You know why this is a PG-13 movie?
Because no, I don't.
Actually, I think what pushed it. I mean, I don't know if I honestly don't know the ratings of many of the movies. I think some of them are PG-13, some of them aren't. But I guess it was Anakin burning to a crisp on Mustafar was.
That sounds about right.
Is too far. Not the implied children murder, which I guess you can't get really PG-13 on that. It's more the explicit, right? But
yeah, that'd be a.
So this is just, again, we talk about filler. I mean, this whole movie is pretty well edited, and I think, for me that's really what makes, some of some of the not so good ones better. It's like, okay, at least it's feels like we're going somewhere, right? And it's
right.
Forward progression, right? I'm not gonna be stuck here forever. But that whole like, oh, we have to go. I mean, it's good that they're being Jedi, right? And they're doing the right thing. I get that as a as a character piece, but at the same time, it's like, okay, they have to go to the place, and I think the whole reason they go back there is, I guess Yoda has to have his confrontation with Palpatine, which he doesn't really need to have. No. Again, it's one of those, do you really need this to be Chewbacca? Do you really need Yoda to meet the Emperor? Not really. Is the scene kind of fun? Yeah, it's kind of fun to see Yoda.
I really do, and I appreciate that it's not as lightsaber heavy as other ones. It's them throwing shit at each other. That's awesome.
Yep, and you just got Yoda crawling around being a little frog. It's great. But I mean, I think the whole reason he goes back, right, is to pick up, or I guess he stows away on Padme's ship somehow. I forget exactly how that all works, but I guess he's like, oh, I saw him killing younglings. Now I know he's evil. It's like, well, is that really the one thing? I mean, he helped murder all the other Jedi,
Yeah. Well, they go back to turn. There's a message to the Jedi Temple that says the war's over, all the Jedi come back, but the Jedi are being murdered. So this is a bad idea.
Theoretically, they've already all been murdered, but I guess to your point about why so many Jedi survived. I mean, that could be it. The established reason, right? Is we got back to home base and turned off the beacon.
Yeah, they turn off the beacon. They change the thing that tells. They change the setting to, attract to repel.
Right.
They inverted the polarity of it.
So I guess I'll forgive that. I mean, not that Star Wars was looking for my forgiveness by any means. But...
It absolutely was, Matt. You don't. You take that back.
Okay, so I've saved all of Star Wars.
Does this movie also seem kind of short compared to the others?
It does, but again, it's still over the 2-hour mark, which surprised me. I'm like, oh, this movie's not that long. This will be over quick, and it's like, it's still 2 hours. Which theatric movies have to be what, like at least an hour and a half or whatever. So it's definitely not. I'd say it's about the same length as the other films. Don't quote me on that, but again, probably better editing, at least.
It feels also more happens in it.
Yeah. Like you had mentioned, maybe there's just more of a time skip, right, or time progression where we've jumped ahead so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clone Wars are over. Anakin's killing babies.
I like his not armor cape.
He's got grandma's bathrobe on over here.
I'm just, my head is immediately in video game mode where they're just loot the corpses, even of the younglings.
Pick up the lightsabers. Lucas says you need those in case you drop yours.
Exactly.
There's no time to mourn.
There's like 14 right there.
Like, who do you fucking think?
Yeah, I brought it up because it seems shorter because I'm looking at the timestamp of the recording and it just seems like it there's no way it can be over 2 hours. We're almost done. The movie's almost over, isn't it?
Well, you forget there's a whole 20-minute lightsaber duel that we're
oh yeah,
see,
which is incredible.
One of my favorite parts, honestly.
Yeah.
First thing we're gonna do is boot out all you aliens.
We're gonna.
I think as an edgy teenager, that was probably one of my most quoted lines because of the Bush era, right?
Yeah. And then
the Patriot Act.
Yeah, and it doesn't have any relevance to today's society at all.
No way. I mean, that's not still around, right?
Right. We
got
defeated
rid of
the Nazis.
They're gone. There are no more Nazis.
They did not see that coming. I have to know. I always thought it would have been more interesting if Yoda's lightsaber was in his little walking cane.
Yeah.
But they did that with the Jedi librarian in Clone Wars. I love that the
cameras in his office.
Yeah. Well, they were spying on him.
Right, so they should have, picked up the other conversation that they had together. I don't know. What do I know? Also, the guy had Sith busts on the wall, right?
Right. I mean, I get why we don't need to see a fight between the Emperor and Yoda, but they are trying to save democracy, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, how did she get? How long of a movie does this? Over what length of a time frame does this movie take place? Because when we first see her, she is not pregnant.
Well, women can do wonders with clothing and hiding things, but yeah, you're right. I mean, she does get progressively, bigger in that respect, and
Yeah,
maybe it's space pregnancy, Lucas. Maybe it just
that's
happens
true.
quicker. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, now she's barely showing, but she has the kids not long from now.
Right, like 5 minutes from now.
It's like, oh shit.
Also, the costuming in this is phenomenal. I think it's an interesting like space wool thing.
Yeah, it's like the grimace fur or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been very envious of Ewan McGregor's beard.
Yeah, no,
Because I know I'll never be able to grow a beard like that.
I do wish his hair was a little longer because it looks weirdly short. Or
Oh, you mean like
I wish
Jesus
they did something
in the prior?
Yeah. Yeah, this is where that scene was going to be, where they have that, like, we pretended.
Right, because you'd have to be stupid to not know, right? And,
That something was
or
there.
just
Why does he put his head up? No one can see you. No one is there to be able to see what you're doing.
man, you either live the thug life, which I don't know what I'm saying. But I guess better question is, why does he sit here and brood?
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. In Rogue One, we do come back to Mustafar, right? That's where his castle is, or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. The guy whose joints don't work.
I must be dumb. I don't remember seeing Obi-Wan sneak aboard. I always thought he just appeared. Oh, never mind. I remember this scene now.
Yeah.
Doi.
I'm going to take a space nap.
What is it about Sith and needing to have lost, like, limbs and been, like, maimed and whatnot? Is that just part of their, I don't know, their initiation or something? Is that they have to, like, get totally fucked up or something?
I mean, they have to, like... I suppose it's an unfortunate implications, the beauty equals goodness thing.
Yeah.
Which is a little not great. But I mean, it's a tale as old as time. It's a trope as old as time. God, the Naboo stuff is so cool.
It is. That's where, spoiler alert, but like the recent episode of Mandalorian, the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba, the not Mandalorian show was, we saw a cameo. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really slick.
I always thought his armor too was kind of a callback. Maybe not a callback, but for me, I always linked the two of his shiny armor with the chrome Naboo starship.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's showing now.
Mm-hmm. Can we go inside off of this volcano planet?
Yeah, shit's hot.
Yeah, it is not safe. This is not baby safe.
You done fucked up, didn't you? She wanted to have helped him. She would have helped get his mom off of Tatooine, so she didn't.
Yeah, I could have bought him.
Die.
Bought her. Yeah.
So we're going back to buy my mom, right? Right?
Not the best line read.
I was actually gonna say that I do I I don't know. I kinda like it. It's they're not great lines.
Yeah.
It's just like he's like, bitch, who's here? Hands on hip Superman pose. All right, who let Anakin have the eyeshadow?
I wish that there was more build up to this, and by that I mean that's what the Clone Wars is for, is that their build of I kind of wish Phantom Menace wasn't about the. I'm trying to figure out how to articulate this. This should be a lot more heartbreaking than it is.
Yeah, lots implied, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, lots told. It's like, yeah, we're like brothers, and it's like, yeah. You were also like treating him like a child in the last movie, like a spoiled little brat.
That isn't an absolute. No, there's an argument like that itself is an absolute, like an only thing, but he's not dealing in absolutes right now. This is incredible. Music, choreography, everything about this is genius.
Oh yeah, yeah. This, again, the whole idea behind this, why I like this movie more than the other ones, and why probably a lot of people like this movie more than the other ones, is that the good outweighs the bad. They're still bad, but there's more good.
I love that bit where he just knocks
can't
him
turn
out.
my neck, so I'm just gonna swivel my chair towards you.
Well, he spends like in the original trilogy, he swivels his chair a lot. He spends most of that movie sitting.
Yeah, it's a power play. Kind of true. I mean, kind of a lot what Darth Sidious says is on point. He's just like,
damn, you got a point.
no.
Yep, like that.
Was it bad that the quote from the first X-Men movie where what happens to a frog when he gets struck by
He's struck by
lightning
lightning.
just flashed through my mind? Oh god. Yeah, I love this theme. I think it's just called Anakin vs. Obi-Wan or something, but
I think so too.
It's amazing. That John Williams can keep spitting fire.
Yeah.
How many decades after? It's just amazing.
We're just gonna step over all these corpses. So I can ham it up.
There's just like a full scene, yeah, of him just like, I'm having a great time.
Yeah,
that's really what it all comes down to. He's just having a good time. Very undignified.
No.
That line's kind of stupid. Darth Sidious, just like any Sith, never wanted his apprentice to be more powerful. I don't know if it's just a throwaway thing he's trying to say, but
yeah.
The whole point of that whole dynamic is that he's always giving Darth Vader, always having like a little sliver of doubt in Darth, or always setting him up to fail, and always having like, I think Shadows of the Empire did it good, where he's just like, hey, guess what, Darth Vader? My new best friend's Shizor. What you gonna do about it?
He runs a crime syndicate. What do you do for me lately?
It's pretty fucking cool. He's got a top knot. What do you got? You don't even got hair anymore. You suck.
I do appreciate that in this fight, they did, in the Obi-Wan Anakin one, they do more than just lightsaber and force each other. They like actually hit each other.
Oh yeah.
And they do yeah. It is a much more brutal symbolism.
This one's just,
kind of dumb, but at the same time they're throwing spinning discs at each other, which is so cool.
Oh yeah, symbolism, yeah. Aha.
When you get expensive lightsabers and don't want to fight them each other.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just like, talk to the hand. I talk to the hand.
Why is that even a button?
Well, they found it.
Yeah, I just don't like that. That shouldn't. There should be so many fail-safes for that shield to not work.
Dude, there's no space OSHA. You know that.
There's a handrail right there, Matt. There's of course a space OSHA. Just put the lightsaber back on your belt for the time being. Oh, good, he does. I forgot about that.
He does, but I think he also does lose it for good. But I know it's like, oh yeah, Yoda's like all heroic and stuff to try to save the day in the end, but he must think pretty highly of himself if he thinks he can take on this dude all by himself.
Yeah.
A lot of confidence in his own ability. Overconfidence, one might say. There it goes. Shia. Honestly, if him and Obi-Wan had tried this, I don't know. Did Obi-Wan really need to go take out Anakin?
Right that second.
Yeah.
The pressing issue is the fascist. Is the guy who redefines the Republic into an empire.
the head. Yep. He's still having a good time, and he's like hanging on for dear life. Time out, time out. Hold on, this doesn't seem very safe, you guys.
Yeah. Can we fight on a stable surface? Like still want to kill you, and I'm still gonna give you the chance to kill me. But can we just do this on this? The little droid, nice touch.
Do you get it, Lucas? It's Faustian. I don't know. Sometimes I think George Lucas, gets so into his own storytelling ability. It's like, and we've talked about there's no original stories, or really there aren't that many. But I don't know. You can't just throw people on a freaking lava planet and call it Faustian.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you mean? I'm actually not. I know what you mean, but like,
Well, it's the whole
I thought it was
descent into hell.
Mustafar.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I am not some sort of learned college guy. I just read what I see on friggin' Wikipedia.
No, I know that part. I meant like I was just trying to figure out where you were getting the word Faust from. Like I didn't. I thought there was some reference I was missing. Like this place was called Faustian or something. I thought it was Mustafar. Which
Well, that could be.
I mean,
That, hey, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's his descent into hell, I guess.
right. I mean, I remember as a kid. I don't remember where I heard it or read it, but there was like this was always it was always that Obi-Wan fought Anakin on a lava planet. Like I remember reading that somewhere as a kid, and I don't remember what I saw that in.
Is that true? Yeah, that could be. I don't know. Um, I guess I never had it in my mind, like, how that all happened. I don't know. I wasn't
Yeah.
a very imaginative child, and also not very read or learned. But like many people back in the day, I more or less just took a lot of the things said in A New Hope, or for Star Wars, as like throwaway lines, like he's like the Clone Wars, and I'm like, oh, that's just a war. I would go
Yeah.
see the Jawas.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it does bother me, as I said earlier, the Star Wars' need to explain or tie everything back to itself.
Yep.
And now we're gonna have lightsaber fights on ropes because why? It's awesome.
Yeah, I always forget of all the different transitions they go through, like fighting on
On
the
pipes and
balance beams.
fighting in an office space and fighting on.
Yeah, it's just the Peter Griffin chicken fight. Maybe I don't know. We said space, insert thing, but space orcs, from Warhammer, their whole thing is if they believe it to be true, it more or less
Comes
manifests.
true, yeah.
I always wonder if that's like a little bit with the Jedi, 'cause I just saw him like make an impossible jump, even for a Jedi, and it's like, how did that he do that?
And they kind of should be like on fire right now because they're above lava. Again, not a great.
From a certain point of view.
I mean, not wrong, but also not the way anyone actually says anything.
This is something I've never really understood. Is when you fall to the dark side, do you like? They talk about influence of the dark side, right? And like, is it controlling you? What is it doing? Because if you're quote unquote the good Jedi, you just are yourself, right? You're not.
Right.
But that's the same thing. It's like is he saying things because the Force is telling him to do that? Because he's evil now, and and obviously the Force itself, you could argue it's just the Force, right? It's neither good nor evil.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So you would hope that in some way, oh, there it is. 'Tis but a scratch. Anyway, I don't know. So it's like some of the things he's saying is like the Jedi are evil. No, are they? They're not evil. They're just, you know, lazy.
Yeah.
And uninformed.
Like, this is really sad, but it should be like there should be more to this because we don't get enough of the two of them, you know.
He's like, bitch, it's not my fault you all telling me I'm the chosen one. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Like this line right here. Not I hate you, but this one.
Second time today he let someone burn to death. Obi-Wan's merciless.
Yeah. Obi-Wan's weapon of choice, fire.
Purified with fire.
You could just force push him into the lava and not let him burn to death and die.
Yeah,
show some mercy.
Pretty messed
Heartless.
up.
Yeah.
This is where it's like, yeah, I would hate anybody who just let me burn to death.
How did you get her on board? Your elbows don't work.
That's right. I don't know. Maybe that explains some of the whole complications and pregnancy thing. Maybe the droids just fumbled it. 3PO knocked her head and dropped her a few times. He's like, no, not even a little bit.
Anakin, he's not doing so hot right now there, Bubby.
Ooh, poor choice of words.
Yep.
It's like, well, that didn't go too well.
Those ships are just evil looking, honestly. Like, they look sinister. I mean, there's nothing inherently sinister about them. I mean, they're meant to be evocative of the Lambda shuttles from... But,
Wait a minute. Canon problem here.
What?
The red ones, the red clone troopers are supposed to be Coruscant security. What are they doing?
They came with him because he's...
Well, I guess they didn't have time to get the Mustafar clones all painted up.
What color do we paint the ones for the lava guys? Bright blue.
Bright blue, yeah. You gambled and lost, Palpatine. Now you've got a friggin' cooked chicken for a... I just want to say, not to keep bringing up the Mandalorian show, or Boba Fett, the not Mandalorian show, but the opening to that was so cool. Like, that's
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, and it was probably one of the more interesting things, like, you know, sets, or I guess sets, but just places, locations.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
from any of the
Space Butcher
like,
Shop.
Yeah, from all the prequels, like, you get all these wacky things that are kind of neat, but that one was just like, oh wow, that's pretty rad.
I have one of those. I've been there. I've been to a butcher shop before.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I guess even in space past future, they still have a need for.
I appreciate
butchers.
that Palpatine has a has a mad scientist lab all ready to go.
Oh yeah.
I just throw him in a back of the tank, he'll be fine. Except, no. I'm going to be evil about it and subject him to be in constant pain.
And plus, Bacta is one of those things, like, what is it actually doing? I know it heals, but can you, like, regrow limbs, like Wolverine style or whatever? Actually, I don't even know if Wolverine can regrow, canonically regrow his limbs, but...
I think I don't know if he's a starfish. I mean, you rip him in half, the two Wolverines grow back.
Yeah, that's the age-old question, is it not?
It is. Men have debated for years.
Greater men than I.
Like, I get giving him robot arms and legs. Like, he needs those, even though they could probably clone, because there's the Clone Wars. They could probably clone new arms and legs for him.
Yeah, I think it's even alluded to at some point that Palpatine just had a bunch of extra clones sitting around where he could just, like... He's like, oh, gotta hang now. Need a new body.
Yep.
Nice. Creepy ass robot.
Mm-hmm.
I just tell you right now, this is generally not how birth goes. At least this was not my experience. It was not over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And like, well, why did she die after giving birth? Well, I don't know. Childhood mortality throughout history has been terrible.
Yeah.
This was a really cool shot.
It is, except that is not. But, get it? Birth? He is being born, Death. Lucas. Ha ha. I'm intelligent, you see. I can pick up on the themes.
They actually, when they built this helmet, it was the first time that it was perfectly symmetrical, because in the original trilogy they had just their manufacturing processes weren't as good as they were in this one.
Yes.
So they were able to make a perfectly symmetrical helmet, and it works.
Nice. I like how shiny it is as well. You go from this to A New Hope, and it's just like, dude, what happened? Did you skip buff day or something? Peace. I mean, she had it right though. Like, she's just like, I'm out of here. You guys can deal with this shit.
I've been dealing with him for too long. And I don't mind his line here. I don't mind no. That to me makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I get the emotion. I get it. It's just not. It's funny. I mean, let's be honest. It's kind of funny.
No, it is kind of funny.
I mean, what would be the alternative? I think it would have been, George Lucas is not known for his subtlety, but if he would just instead just crushed all the droids around him or something, right? Something small, I think that would have been probably enough.
Agreed. But it's also, he's raw, unbridled power.
But that's the thing. It's like from the original series, it's original 3 movies. It's like he doesn't talk much, right? So it's
right.
In fact, he's more known for the stuff like this, where he just destroys things, wordlessly. Because the universe at large is like, is he a man? Is he a machine?
Hey, look, Alderaan.
Man, Leia certainly got the better end. I know the planet blows up, but at the same time, she got to
She had a childhood.
Yeah. I mean, Luke kind of did too, but his aunt and uncle are kind of jerks.
They should have, right here, they talk about how, what's it called? how Qui-Gon came back from the Force to be a Force ghost. They should have actually shown that, and like Qui-Gon should have been here as a Force ghost.
Yeah, I don't know why they were like, oh, that's such a, you know, best kept secret type of thing, and it's like, well, why? Like, is it just for the reveal of the movie?
Like that would have been a great reveal if they hadn't done that in the movie, like in any of the trailers or anything like that, or said anything about him being there.
Probably couldn't get Liam back for the.
He came back for Clone Wars.
Did he?
Yep.
Was that him? See, doesn't this guy's chin just looks fake? Anyway, I don't think we're gonna show him again. Looks like that Rushmore guy. What's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yep. I met him once.
What? No way.
Yeah. No, he used to come to, strangely enough, Southern Alabama, like for reasons I don't know why, but he did.
That's wild. He was in that boner comedy. I forget what it was called. From the early aughts, where he's like that crazy nerd dude. And there's Queen What's-Her-Face and old dude.
How did they know to put the thing back in her hand? Like, I mean, I get it. She still loves him. She still holds on to the thing. That's the thing that he carved her when he was a baby. Oh, they took away the... This is an interesting touch. They took away the color of the ships.
Yeah, they're like, we're already the Empire, bitches. Get rid of them clones. Although must be a time jump, because it's like, I know... Also, real quick shout out to Rogue One. Why didn't they just use a non-CGI Cushing?
I didn't.
I know you're gonna say I didn't mind it, but it's like one of the only visual things that threw me out of that movie, aside from a few other things, obviously. But I don't know. Peanuts, I guess.
Oh wait, no, this isn't. This is Alderaan. The other place was Naboo.
Yeah, whoops. Learn your lore, Lucas.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am ashamed.
It is kind of neat. You get little glimpses. I mean, you get that every now and then. Star Wars, like, this is that planet. It's a goddamn paradise, and it freaking explodes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and it's Leia's theme.
Yeah.
What's that one called? Is it just Leia's theme, or
it could be a Leia's theme or Across the Stars? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
if they're the same.
And they filmed this sequence when they filmed Attack of the Clones.
Did they? I guess that makes sense, because this is the only time we go back here, and why like redo the whole set and have to go back to Tunisia. I'm sad. I don't know about you, Lucas, but I'm sad that that creature back there he was riding on didn't fart comically in the middle of the scene. A little bit of a disappointment. Here's a baby. See ya. It's like, I'm sure this is what Anakin would have wanted for his child to go back to the desert world to eke out a living.
Well, it makes sense. It actually does kind of make a sort of sense. We're gonna stash him the one place we know Anakin won't go because he hates sand.
Yeah, that's fair. In canon reason.
Yep.
Good job, George. And he never went on to direct another Star Wars movie.
Oh man. Well, thank you for joining me for this one. This was the one I was looking forward to the most, the prequels, because this was the one I remember being the best, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it probably was.
Yeah, it still holds up for me. I like the other ones for other reasons, and again, I'm a big Star Wars shill, so I'm fine saying that.
I mean, I've been a prequel apologist since they came out.
That's right. But yeah, this one certainly, I mean, I think it's universally agreed. I real quick, it surprised me just looking it up, and the fact that this has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you care about that,
does surprise me.
That's pretty wild. So they're not all bad. People harp on the prequels, but hey, they make you feel things sometimes.
Yep.
And that's all you need from Star Wars.
Well, thank you for joining me again, Matt. And we will see everyone next month for another prequel. Not part of the prequel trilogy, but the prequel that I don't remember asking for, but I also remember kind of enjoying, Solo.
A Star Wars story.
Yeah, why don't we get more Star Wars stories? Well, I suppose we are with the TV series, but they should just... We'll talk about it when we get to Solo. But,
That's right. Open up another can of worms right at the end.
We're going to wait for the month. Wait for a month. Okay. Let everyone have a good night.
Peace.